Welcome back to week 2. I truly hope that after last week, you found the courage to take your past and lay it at the feet of Jesus. You see, the past does nothing but distract us from enjoying the precious, everyday moments of the present. And I have to be honest, these sessions won't do much for you unless you fully commit to that first step, physically kneeling and handing your past over to Jesus. Dave, this means you must forgive those who have wronged you. It's a spiritual law that many Christians, even those who have spent decades in church, don't fully grasp. God's word is clear. For Him to forgive you, you must forgive others. The world screams for revenge, but God reminds us that vengeance and judgment belong to Him alone. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be best friends with people who hurt you, but it does mean you should pray for their souls. We also talked about the chain reaction. Triggers lead to thoughts, thoughts lead to cravings, and cravings lead to use. So, our first line of defense is to do everything we can to avoid those triggers. We'll dive deeper into how to identify and stop negative thoughts later in this series. We'll learn to replace them with powerful, positive scriptures that you can truly hang your hat on. It takes patience, but as you do this, the cravings will eventually subside. Be smart. Keep yourself busy with positive activities. Get involved in your church, volunteer, go to recovery meetings, and exercise. A word of caution. Don't just swap one substance for another. Your addicted brain, which the devil loves to use, will try to rationalize this, but it's a trap. Today, we're focusing on the spiritual law of gratefulness. Think about IT people who are ungrateful are never content. Their desires are like a bottomless pit. How can anyone find peace or true joy living like that? So, I want you to take out your notebook. These pages are going to be important, something you'll keep for a long time. I want you to take your time and write down everything you are grateful for. Really think about it. Look at the world around you. Consider those experiencing homelessness, or people in prisons or institutions. What if you were born in a country where people are starving every day? If you truly relax and let your mind wander, you'll discover a long list of things to be grateful for. God gives us a couple of powerful examples of ungratefulness that, if we're honest, we've all been guilty of. Meditating on these stories can put you spiritually ahead of many regular churchgoers. In Luke chapter 18, Jesus tells a story to some who were confident in their own righteousness and looked down on others. He said, 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week and give 1/10 of all I get. But the tax collector stood at a distance. He would not even look up to heaven, but beat his chest and said, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. Jesus then says, I tell you that this man, rather than the other, went home justified before God. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. The first man was grateful for not being like others, which is really just pride in disguise. The second man was humbled, aware of his own need for mercy. Then there's the story in Luke chapter 17. As Jesus was traveling, 10 men with leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and cried out, Jesus, Master, have pity on us. When he saw them, he told them, Go, show yourselves to the priests. And as they went, they were cleansed. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back, praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And this man was a Samaritan. Jesus asked, Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? Has no one returned to give praise to God except this foreigner? Then he said to him, Rise and go. Your faith has made you well. God had healed all 10. But only one came back to express gratitude. And Jesus told that one man that he had been made whole, not just physically, but spiritually as well. That's the power of a grateful heart. 2. It is my prayer for you that you find something new to add to your gratitude list every single day. Getting on your knees and thanking God for what you do have, and for the hope that is available only in Him, is a transformative practice. Last week, we mentioned how vital truthfulness is for complete recovery. Today, let's talk about another key: immediate acceptance. 4. Imagine you're walking down the road and you witness a car crash. What do? Pretend it didn't happen. Just stand there and do nothing. Of course not. Hopefully you'd at least call 911. Yet, we often allow the equivalent of a car crash to happen in our own lives and do nothing. Some people bury their heads in the sand, deny a problem exists, or rationalize that things aren't as bad as they seem. They procrastinate taking any action. Oh, unfortunately, this is why so many people have to hit rock bottom before they finally admit they have a problem with substances. Think of it this way. If a doctor told you that you had cancer, what would you do? Ignore it and hope for the best. Or would you seek treatment immediately? Your substance use disorder is a serious condition, often with genetic or spiritual roots stemming from past hurts. Your doctor, preferably a psychiatrist, can help with the genetic side. Here we are focusing on the spiritual and common sense part. And here's a great paradox in recovery. The more deeply you accept that you have a disease, the more benefit you will get from this process. The only way to win this fight is to surrender. Not to the addiction, but to reality. Surrender might sound like weakness, but you will see that immediately accepting the realities of this world and surrendering control to God is how we win. So, if you haven't completed step 1 from last week, please go back and do it. Pray a prayer of gratitude. And teach yourself to accept that bad things have happened and will continue to happen in this world, because this world is not heaven. You've probably wondered why your life has become such a mess. Yes. Probably questioned where God has been in awe of it. More than likely, it's because you haven't taken the next crucial step, which is what we will talk about next week. I am already praying for you to accept next week's challenge. I want to see you find abundant life, both here on earth and in heaven. I want to see you there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.